Welcome back to the Bible Reading Project. I'm Jeff here with my best friend P. Paul Mark, and we're taking a look at Matthew chapter 8.
Matthew chapter 8. Why do you call me P. Paul? Instead of pastor, evangelist? Because I've been getting a lot of mail. I got P. Paul mail. I got pastor, Mark.
Right.
I got something else.
What'd you get?
I didn't get bishop.
Yeah, right.
You get all the fun titles. Bishop.
Yeah.
Extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Prelate. Pastor Ryan.
Yeah.
I get P. Paul.
Yeah.
Why? What did I do? Although I like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
Right.
I am P. Paulish, right?
You are. You are.
I just so want to be the bad boy.
No,
And
yeah.
you just want, you're just like, P. Paul.
Yeah, no, I was just praying for you one day, and Lord told me to call you P. Paul.
Thank you for being obedient,
You're welcome.
Jeff. Appreciate it. Friday, tell me something you've gotten out of this chapter. A takeaway.
Yeah, I think that I like for Jesus to come and heal me of my sickness and my ailments, but I don't like him to come and heal me of my spiritual.
You don't want to change, right?
No, right.
I want him to.
I like him to make me feel more comfortable in my skin, but
Right.
I don't want him to tell me that I'm spiritually dead.
Matthew chapter 8, 34 verses long. Here's how it plays out. Jesus comes in. He heals a guy that has a sickness in his flesh called leprosy that separates him from religion.
Yeah.
He cleanses him. He talks about priest and offering, which Jesus will be, cleanses the guy, tells the guy to go do his religion.
Right.
Jesus heals a soldier's servant. Jesus heals Peter's mother-in-law. Jesus casts out a bunch of devils and heals other people. But he comes to this verse, and this is kind of what I've landed on. If you want to really understand the entirety of the context of the chapter, is verse 22. Jesus told him, "Follow me and let the spiritually dead bury their own dead."
Yeah, right.
That, to me, this whole chapter, it's Jesus is trying to come into a religious group of people. Bless me, help me, new prophet in town, new guy in town, a new program.
Right.
And he's doing things nobody else has ever done. He wows the crowds with his magic. And Jesus brings down to just let the spiritually dead bury their dead. Problem with that is everybody in this chapter is spiritually dead. Even the people that follow him are spiritually dead.
Right.
Comes to the end of the chapter where he's like, dude, get out of our town.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Right.
Like, seems that first of the chapter, it's like, he's in town.
Yeah, yeah.
And then several, I don't know how long it all lasts in chapter 8, but it doesn't last long before an entire town is saying, please get out of our town. And then I brought the word out yesterday that I'd like to hold on to as Jesus coming in to heal the demoniac, the guy that's possessed by devils, verse 29 now. So we looked at verse 22 of being spiritually dead. Verse 29, the demons began screaming at him, "Why are you interfering with us, Son of God?" And now we understand why some people push away at God while others run fast for him. Is this one word, there is something about Christianity where God is trying to interfere with your life, not just bless your life.
Right.
The problem today, I believe, with a lot of Christian theology is perception on Monday, right? We introduce the Jesus that is not coming to interfere. He's coming to affirm, right? He's going to affirm everything.
Yeah.
You want to be trans, he affirms you. You want to be gay, he affirms you. You want to be
Right.
whatever you want to be, he loves you. He's an affirming Son of God. True. I don't think he has a problem affirming us if we need an affirmation. But this chapter is trying to get us to a place of, I did not come to affirm you.
Yep.
I came to let you know you're all spiritually dead. And if you don't change, you will die.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Versus the Jesus that never demands I change, because that's an interference. I don't want Jesus to mess with me. I want him to bless me and affirm me. I don't want to say, hey, to be born again requires change. To be born again means that I admit I'm spiritually dead. So let's talk about this today. We have a generation. I just got a news clip on my phone. For the first time in the history of Playboy magazine, they have put a trans guy on there. So now Playboy is kind of in the woke culture of, hey, in our Nudie Girly magazine, we're going to put a naked man who's a woman now. All right. So that's where our culture's going. I mean, we can go, oh my God, what's the world coming to? But I think that's what we should expect, that we live in a world that if we look at it biblically, we would call it dark and wrong or whatever. We look at all the woke culture going around now, and as Christians, we can criticize it all we want. It really doesn't change anything, no matter how much we criticize it. But Jesus steps in because I believe we're in a culture now where no one wants to admit that anybody could be spiritually dead and that any of us will ever be judged.
Yeah, right.
And the reality of Jesus is all of you are spiritually dead.
Yep.
The religious guy at the top of the equation is just as dead as the demon-possessed guy at the back of the equation. You're all spiritually dead.
Yeah, right.
And I think there's a missing element where we've not done a good job communicating spiritual death to people. Mm-hmm. We're spiritually dead.
Yeah.
You may be trans. You're spiritually dead. Mm-hmm. You may be a deacon in the church. You're spiritually dead.
Right.
All of us are spiritually dead. Now, how we affirm spiritual death, some people chase religion. I'm going to go to church. Mm-hmm. I'm going to sing in a choir. I'm going to be on a praise team. I'm going to go to a Christian school, right?
Yep.
But in reality, though, they're doing all the outward things at the beginning of chapter 8 and feeling cleansed.
Yeah.
Their conscience is cleansed because they gave God $5 in an offering and they read their Bible today. But internally, they just have never been born again.
Right.
They've never been changed. The opposite end of the spectrum, middle finger. I'm not giving God any time of my day.
Yep.
Don't believe in God. Don't want God. But at the end of the day, all of us are judged, right? So here's this culture now that you live in and I live in that basically affirms anything at any time, whatever you want to be, you do you. And God affirms that. And how dare anybody say God wouldn't affirm it, which is cool. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got an opinion. But the thought is you just should affirm everybody. And Jesus is like, I didn't come to just affirm and fix things on the outward and say, you want to be gay, I affirm you, I applaud you. Hey, you want to be whatever you want to be, I affirm you too. And I'm not talking about gender identity. I'm talking about all of us.
Yeah, right. Whatever makes you feel good.
All of us, religious and unreligious, all of us have to come to the knowledge we're spiritually dead.
Yep.
Why do you think that is the best beginning point? All of us are spiritually dead. Why do we need to be dwelling on all of us are spiritually dead? And what does that do for us when we think I'm spiritually dead?
It puts us all on the same playing field.
Okay.
We're all, whether you live a good, what humans would call a good moral life, that you go to church every Sunday, or the opposite, you're an atheist, or you just, you do whatever feels good in that moment, and, everything from, whatever.
Sure.
So we're all on the same playing field, no matter where you stand with God. Mm-hmm. And so I think that that's helpful because no man's better than the other.
But the same playing field that I think we've done a poor job is that we've said the same playing field is God loves us all.
Right.
There's no judgment. Mm-hmm. The level playing field is we're all going to be judged without him.
Yeah.
Right? If we don't have him, we all run off the hillside in the water judged. We all lose everything we've dwelt on. And just... You said you talked about Jesus being a product we sell. It's hard to sell that Jesus.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard to sell the Jesus that says you're spiritually dead. Mm-hmm. You must be born again. That Jesus, because that requires I change. That requires I'm different. That requires that He knows more than I know. Right. Versus the Jesus I sell of He just loves you. And so this whole chapter is. Yes, He can do all these good things for you, but you're spiritually dead.
Right.
Yes, He can fix your problems, but you're spiritually dead. Yes, you may follow Him daily, but you're still spiritually dead. Yes, you may have demons and can't stand Him and want to get Him out of town. You're spiritually dead too.
Yeah, right.
So this whole range of I love Him, I follow Him, I do all the religious stuff to please get out of our town, stop interfering with me, is that He's trying to show that all of us are in a boat of spiritual death.
Yeah.
And without Him, we're spiritually dead. Here's why I think it's such a critical piece to teach people today of spiritual death, is because if I'm spiritually dead, what has to happen to remedy it?
You have to
be born again.
And be born again, right.
So Born again, and the way we've sold that is pray this prayer, Jesus, forgive me of my sins, come into my heart, be Lord of my life, and then we clap. Yay, you're in.
Yep.
Okay? I'm not going to fight that fight. But the thought that I'm literally spiritually dead, my soul.
Yep.
I got a bunch of money. I got a degree. I'm a college. I'm educated. But the thought to start with, first and foremost, no matter what I have, I'm spiritually dead.
Yep.
I think is the most crucial element of Christianity to bring people to a place to know they're spiritually dead, because it requires the next question, well, what do I do? And Jesus will tell Nicodemus, I'll tell you, you must be born again. Well, if I must be born again, that means the moment I admit I'm spiritually dead, doesn't matter what I think about me out here.
Yeah, right.
I like my gender. I don't like my gender. No matter what I think, once I come to I'm spiritually dead, I must be born again.
Yeah.
And when I'm born again, my gender, my wants, my sexuality, my desires, my sicknesses all take a bow to He's my life.
Right. Right.
And then He changes me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He changes me into, I had somebody say, do you believe people can be born gay? Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Right.
That's why we need to be born again. Do I believe
Yes.
somebody can be born mad? Yeah. I mean, we can be in anger, have personality. It's why Jesus says, I want you to be born again.
Right. That's
So,
good.
so in the thought of Jesus bringing us to this final conclusion, you must be born again. I'm trying to interfere with your life. Why is that so hard to let go of? Why is it so hard to preach this message that we're spiritually dead to your generation versus you're not really dead, you're you, and Jesus wants to love you? And you know, it's just such a hard message to sell if we use the analogy you used at the top. We're trying to sell a product versus a person.
Well, let's fast forward to the rich young ruler, I guess. Right? We'll get to him in the next week or two. And that's what Jesus kind of tells him. He says, you have to get rid of everything in your life that you love, because you'll love it more than me. And I think that's why it's so hard, is because we love ourselves a whole lot, even if we put on the facade of, I don't really like myself that much. No, we do, because if you loved God more, then you would give it up. You would be born again. You would be, but we can't, because we just love ourselves too much. Yeah. And that's where the problem comes in, is we think that I think I'm so great.
Yeah. So years ago, it's maybe before your time. You know who Ted Turner is here in town in Atlanta? Ted used to own the Braves and the TBN and TNN, I think. Turner Broadcasting Network. I mean, just a billionaire, right? Like he owns more land in America. Now he's got all these restaurants. Great, I'll say great dude. Like I know him. I don't know him. But he made a comment now when I say years ago, probably 30 years ago, his comment was that religion, specifically Christianity, is a crutch for weak people. His assumption was, I'm wealthy. People who are successful don't need Christianity.
Yep.
It's a crutch for weak people. Religion is a crutch for weak people. I think in some way he's right, because I think what we've sold people is that Christianity is for needy, broken, poor, desperate people.
Yeah.
So that if I can get educated and I can get a great job and I can make some money, I don't really need it.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I think this chapter levels the playing field, that whether you're a billionaire in Atlanta or you're a homeless guy on the streets of Atlanta, you're all spiritually dead.
Right.
You don't come to God to get more money. You don't come to God to have a better business. You don't come to God to get off the streets and stop being homeless. God can help all that.
Yeah.
You can be a born-again tongue talker but homeless because you just don't manage your life well. And you can be a billionaire and going to hell because you didn't manage your life well.
Right.
Because to manage your life well is to start with the thought, everybody on the planet is spiritually dead.
Right.
And if we're not careful, that word interfere, so to keep God from interfering in my life, I'll just handle my life. I'll get famous, I'll get money, I'll get educated, I'll because I'm not spiritually dead. Look how happy I am, right? All my needs are met. Then the other people over here is, oh, bless their heart, man, they really need Jesus. They're falling apart.
Yeah, right.
And Jesus just comes in a beautiful way in 34 verses. The way that this chapter is laid out is verse 22, dude, you're all spiritually dead.
Yeah.
Now let's end it with this thought, because what's the answer to a planet of humans who are spiritually dead? In the middle of it all, we get the weirdest story, but it's the answer. Verse 23. Jesus got into the boat and started across the lake with his disciples. Are his disciples spiritually dead or not?
They are.
They are. They hadn't been born again yet.
Right.
Jesus, they're still spiritually dead, but they're in the boat with him.
Right.
All right. Suddenly, a fierce storm struck the lake with waves breaking in the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. The disciples, who were spiritually dead, went and woke him up, shouting, Lord, save us. We're going to drown.
Yeah.
So just saying the right things, being in the boat,
Yeah, right.
doesn't make you not spiritually dead. Jesus responded, why are you afraid? You have so little faith. He got up, rebuked the winds and waves. Suddenly there was a great calm, and the disciples were amazed. Who is this dude? They asked. Even the winds and waves obey him. Verse 26 is the answer.
All right.
You have little faith,
Yeah.
right? What is the answer for spiritual death? Faith.
Yeah.
You have to believe.
Right.
And even the guys in the boat with him, though they had seen the leper healed,
Right.
the mother-in-law's been healed,
Yep.
the demons have come out of people. I've told you that spiritually dead people are here. I'm going to give you an object lesson of spiritual dead people being judged. And right in the middle of all the great things Jesus does for us and all the judgment that awaits us is this one word called faith.
Yeah.
And it is faith that brings me out of a spiritual death into a spiritual life, trusting Jesus.
Amen.
Thanks for hanging out with me all
Thank
week,
you.
man. Love you. Have a great week. Ron and I want to remind you, next week, Matthew chapter 9. Jump in, read it starting tomorrow on Saturday. We'll jump in next week with you. We'll chat about it. We hope we're inspiring you to read it deeper and deeper and maybe understand the Bible a little better. Have a great weekend.